someone named Kaylee Mae Carroll 4 days ago, maybe 5 days ago now. One of our dear brothers, Zach Conover, who is pastoring and really missionarying in Kauai, just such an incredibly hard area. Just wow. You might say, "Oh yeah, sure." No, it is incredibly difficult to proclaim the gospel in that place. There's a huge amount of false teaching, huge amount of false religion, and just such an animosity toward the gospel. It's astonishing. But we had dinner last night at Summer's house. And so he was able to confirm a lot of this stuff. But here is a woman in Oahu, in Hawaii. Hawaii's lockdown. See, people who live in Hawaii already have, and I noticed this when I visited a few times that I have, already have a bit of a we're stranded out here mentality as it is. And so you then lock everybody in their houses, and it only makes it a whole lot worse. Hawaii's economy is, for all intents and purposes, dead because there's no tourism, and everybody worked in the tourism industry, and it's pretty much dead. It's been purposefully killed by the leaders in the state. And the lockdowns they're doing are just as draconian as what you're seeing in Melbourne, Australia, and places like that. So here's what she posted. I'm just going to read it to you because you can't make this stuff up. I just called our Oahu COVID hotline for clarification on the new orders. Isn't this great? What are our orders? This is long. Bear with me. Here's my conversation with the man who answered my call as follows. Me. I just wanted to clarify under the new orders, my husband, whom I am legally married to and have created a child with, cannot be on the beach with me, correct? Guy, that is correct. From what I've been told, you need to be far enough away to avoid interaction. Me, can you define interaction? Guy, the example given to me was if you were to be near someone who is smoking, far enough away, you wouldn't be able to distinguish the smell of smoke. Now, let me stop right there. Say, I've got a neighbor who smokes. That is a long ways away in the morning when there's a slight easterly breeze. That thing will carry forever. Okay, I continue. Me, okay, thanks. To clarify, the new order is not about COVID, but about helping enforcement, correct? Guy, from my understanding, it's a bit of both, but yes, to mainly help with enforcement. If groups or families were allowed to gather, it's much harder to distinguish family from friends. Me, gotcha. So if my husband was at the beach with me and the police cited us, but we showed government-issued IDs showing the same last name of residence, would that hold up in court? Guy, no. Legally, they can still give you a citation. Me, okay, thanks. Next question. I have a 12-month-old son and struggle with PPD and PPA. The beach is a free therapeutic tool for my mental health. What am I supposed to do with my baby? I can't leave him in a hot car or at home unassisted, so am I just SOL? So out of luck, I hope. Guy, yeah, that's a tough predicament. You wouldn't be able to sit on the beach with him, but if you had kids, you could be on the beach while your kids are in the water. Or with infants, the rule doesn't really apply. You could be in the shallow water, like just a foot or so deep. Me, wait. At what age does it apply or not apply? Guy, well, the orders don't provide an age, so legally speaking, if you were on the beach with your son, you could get a citation. Me, okay. My son is exclusively breastfed on demand. If I need to sit down to feed him because he weighs 25 pounds, can I sit on the beach to feed him, or do I have to be in the water? Guy, legally, you cannot feed him on the beach. It would have to be done in the car beforehand, or like you said, in the water. Me, jaw drops. Okay, thanks for clarifying. 2 more questions. We can now hike legally, but only alone, correct? Isn't it not recommended to hike alone due to safety concerns, especially as an alone woman? Do I have no options to hike then? Guy, Yes, you can hike alone if the it's the hiker's responsibility to determine safety risks and benefits of hiking. We leave that up to your discretion. Me. So if something happens to me, say I get assaulted while hiking alone, I assume the government has no liability then. Does this mandate not discriminate against families of small children and women? Guy. Yes, we would have no liability as it's the hiker's responsibility. I can't personally say if it's discriminatory. My job is only to clarify the rules. You do make many valid points, and I hear you. And then she says, we ended the call by him saying he hears me on how hard isolation can be and gave me a website for mental health resources. Take this conversation for whatever it's worth, but this is what it's like to be a new mom living in Hawaii right now, alone, separated from family and friends. Life feels pretty bleak, and my heart goes out to all the moms who just gave birth and will have to deal with the throes of postpartum and the responsibility of a completely dependent human on top of this insanity.